Hi, I'm Octavian, and today I'm gonna teach you how to beat a rogue as a rep paladin, or at the very least, make it a close duel. But just so you know, this guide will not include the full rune list, talents, or armor. Check out my Pally level 60 PvP guide for all that info. Let's begin with the most important pieces of gear. Dotan's Horn is a lever that lets you have a squire. Even though it barely does any damage, the reason we use it versus a rogue is because it will keep the rogue in combat while you are blind. Sometimes, the squire is able to break their vanish, ruining the restealth form. Another important piece of PvP gear is the Dark Moon card Torment. This extra random CC doesn't always proc, but when it does, it's amazing. And I don't know what server you're on, but on Crusader Strike, the Dark Moon card could be purchased sometimes just under 200 gold. And of course, the PvP trinket. So what do I use my PvP trinket on? Most of the time, I use it on kidney shot. But if I'm still around 60% HP when they kidney shot, I save it for the blind or the next kidney shot. So what about rogue should I be worried about most? Well, Sebaceous poison is ridiculously strong. A poison reducing my armor by 2,550. Therefore, wearing a shield before a rogue opens up on you is the best thing you could do. As for me, I don't do that. I don't like losing a GCD weapon swapping when every GCD is incredibly important versus a rogue, as you have very small windows for mistakes. And also, I don't like the way my shield looks. You should try cleansing the poisons in between swings and spamming cleanse when your spells are on cooldown to get the poison off. This could be a challenge in its own, as a poison can be reapplied quickly, but if you remove the poison just before they land a front stab or a mutilate, it will reduce the damage you take by a huge amount. Before I go into detail, when fighting a rogue, it is common courtesy to let them get the opener. Once they open on you and they re-stealth, you can use perception and try to get them out of stealth. Unless it's a rogue versus rogue, then y'all can just figure it out. Okay, so, usually, the rogue will open with a cheap shot, into a gouge, then a kidney shot. While you are sitting all this CC, do not panic. Just watch your HP. If you fall below 60% HP when they land kidney shot, you trinket it. If you're still around 50% HP after you trinket it, do damage and expect the blind. At this point, hopefully your squire is on the rogue to prevent the re-stealth and is not bugged. If the rogue instead evasions after the trinket, immediately use repentance. Then, the rogue will have a choice to sit the rep and let you heal with divine light as they lose evasion time, or they trinket it. Expect them to trinket. Be ready to stop your cast and instantly follow it up with the hammer of justice. Remember to stand behind the rogue as much as you can throughout the duel. But to be fair, you should be doing this in every one of your duels. And at this point, you can finish it. But if you don't kill the rogue, don't worry, just play defensive. Good rogue will usually save their vanish for your bubble. So try and save your bubble when you're low HP and the divine storm is off cooldown. Bubble on top of the rogue and expect to vanish. Instantly divine storm to break the stealth. This works 90% of the time. If the fight isn't over, reapply Sacred Shield and seal the martyrdom. Use your perception, then eat and drink. If the duel is going on for this long, you're fighting a good rogue. Remember to swap your trinket on cooldown with a new one. I like to use Hand of Justice in case the RNG gods decide to bless me. From here, your goal is to stall as long as you can for forbearance to fall off, and to have your repentance and hammer of justice come back up. When the rogue opens on you again, use your blessing of protection on cheap shot and immediately use repentance. I cannot stress it enough how important every GCD is versus a rogue. But if you mess it up here, the rogue will blind you in the bop and GG. But if you do it right, you can then RP walk while the rogue sits in the repentance and you hammer of justice and finish it. This is a side note. If a rogue is trying to kite you like a warrior, use flash of light every time they're just out of melee range to force them in. When they run back in melee range, expect them to kick and stop casting. This is called juking. And if the rogue is 20 or so yards away from you, expect a shadow step kick and juke it. But I believe that was everything. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And if this guide was helpful to you at all, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. What class would you guys like to see next? Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video.